Commishcast. We have a special guest on tonight. The great Jimmy Mela is
All
on with us
right.
tonight. So, at his home base at Vintage Wine Cellars. So, we're happy to have him on tonight. And,
Woo!
we got a very big announcement. I know Dan Maduff, if you're watching, he was texting me last night. He was like, when's the next Commishcast coming out?
Really?
And
Oh
so
my
I said,
gosh. Yes,
coming out
Dan
really
is
We got
soon.
3 viewers now.
Yeah,
I
so
was
we
just
got
gonna
three
say our
viewers.
viewership's tripled, right?
Pretty soon we might be up to one
Dan.
hand, guys. One
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're watching, I told Dan we have a very special announcement tonight. So he's certainly very, very excited about it. So
All right. Can't wait to
all
hear
right.
it.
All right, so I think it involves Jimmy. So
Yeah.
Jimmy, if you want to go ahead and let's just,
Oh,
get the
well,
suspense out of the way.
My
right here.
announcement is that the Dreadnoughts are officially retiring from the BFFL. So that will be the end of the Lakeland franchise.
Yeah, so
And,
let's
Cheers.
raise a glass. So yes, to Jimmy and the Dreadnoughts, the Marauders, pretty much the legendary franchise that started with Jimmy and then grew to Jimmy and Frank and then Jimmy and Randy and now is retiring, but we will always have them. The best part about it is that they will still be part of the BFFL family, as
They're
Jimmy
all our
said.
trophies too. So
There you go.
Yeah. I think they'll be at my new place in September, basically.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
and my record of 1-36 still stands.
Well, hey, it's like I said, it's never, you never just want to think that it's ever going to be easy, and that one, and you know what I tell you, let's just go there. It's like probably the greatest Brick Hat Bowl championship ever. The Dreadnoughts beating the Head Knockers in the very first overtime,
Overtime.
and
And so I feel honored about that. I feel bad for Bobby, but that's how it goes.
but
you know,
how funny is it then that Bobby ultimately, so you won in 1998,
97,
97, okay,
but in 1 in 98,
97, yes, and then Bobby won his one championship in 2000. So we've been playing a long time, and it's just not easy. You could just never ever take this for granted that you're either going to win. Ask Dan Marino, you can ask a lot of folks. So it's just one of those things. But it's been a fantastic, incredible run. So being able to have the BFFL be honored back in the beginning days, one of the original 8, and to be able to retire again, just thank
And
you.
so I'll be the second retired BFFLer, as Matt, your dad, was number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will be the second one. So
Yes.
I'm merely making the way for the next guy
Yes.
to retire. And Christopher, you want to go ahead with your announcement?
Well, yeah. Well, that's a little on the work side. Yes, on the work side, I'll be there in all but 2 weeks. So, but
Wow.
I tell you, it really is amazing when you think of the the original 8 that we had, and just that was just one of the things. When we were growing this league, I'll never forget. Bobby and I, who created the league, wanted to basically start the league. And again, this is 1990, even before we officially began as a full-fledged league in 91. We brought in JD Breen, who was my roommate, just to be able to even try to understand what in the world franchise fantasy football, as they called it back then. And then I'll never forget
Why
going.
do you know something about franchise fantasy football?
Who's that?
JD Breen?
No, we just couldn't be It couldn't just be Bobby versus me every week. that would literally be super silly. So we brought in a third and said whoever scored the most points in that 1990 quote unquote season. But I'll never forget, it was Bobby and then me, and we said, go get your best friends, your family. Let's bring a group together and for 1991, and I'll never forget. That's how reached out to Jamie.
And Jamie and I had just moved to Atlanta
That's what, yeah.
to just be in the Atlanta world in a big city. And so that's why we had moved up to Atlanta.
Okay, so we have 5. Who's
And-
our other 3?
And
Yeah, well, that's-
so that there was, who was the fifth?
Well, so they're basically, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it was, we joked and we had like kind of the downtown and metro, but really it was the folks that were coming in from the BFFL quote unquote Florida side. And then there was the Bobby who was pulling from the kind of the Georgia side. So
Yeah.
again, I had Jamie, who I was, cousins, obviously. And then he was able to bring you.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, it was me. We had Jamie, Jimmy, and it was, I guess it's a kind of a toss up, but in terms of because we kind of both know him, we went to school, so we had Wayne,
Mhm.
so
Okay.
Wayne and stuff like that.
Bobby and JD?
So we had Bobby then brought in his best friend at the time, which or still is, Doug.
Oh.
So he brought in Doug, and then brought in Richard with
Mhm.
his 2 amazing sons
Two amazing
that
sons.
came in. So we literally at that point had 7, and then we had to get an 8th, and ironically it was another family member, and it was Janie Bogan's husband, who was Jay Bogan, who the infamous Islamic Jihad that came in 1991 and literally drafted a team with Barry Sanders, never changed the team, still won like 5 or 6 games just because of Barry Sanders. But that was our league. So we had kind of the Florida and the Georgia, and to be able to have, Jimmy, you get in through Jamie, and, didn't really know you, but got to become, best friends.
We got to be very good friends. Absolutely.
Christopher, the Terrors kind of did that last year with Saquon, and they won the championship. So
I mean,
Well, that's certainly better than 2007.
I was
when
just saying,
you didn't
the
have to
Terrors
change
were
the league
stacked.
until somebody told you to do something.
Yeah,
stupid,
the
so.
Terrors were stacked at running back with Saquon and Robinson. I'm just
and
saying.
Bijan, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That
Baker
could-
was
that
still
might
their
be the
MVP.
greatest backfield ever. I mean, literally.
Yes.
So
Which literally could be I don't know, 2 of the top 3 picks this year. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. So,
Really?
so Jimmy, I'm just thinking, because this is, like I said, this is a farewell to the franchise, but obviously not to the BFFL. And we've
Mhm.
talked about coming here as the BFFL Super Weekend is now going to do the Tampa 2. So we'll be back here. We're going to obviously have some fun celebrating. Now we'll be in different places as we just sold our house. So yes, very fortunate.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
And getting ready to move into our condo in August and in advance of the Super Weekend, but we'll have kind of that, and then we'll have to figure out. I'm not sure where Friday night's going to be, because
Yeah.
that's always
Sounds
been.
like it might be at the Elements in their clubhouse.
Yeah, it might be.
Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
I need to win the lottery to buy a house so we can have somewhere for Friday night.
Get something there, yeah. So Jimmy, I guess just one question. I mean, just thinking about just some best memories of the BFFL.
Well, I think the best memories would come from just drafting. I would say Super Weekends were the focus, and every year we would do it. And Jamie's Killer Kingdom
Oh yeah.
was a stalwart. And Barnacle Bills
Oh yeah.
is
Oh,
you can
I
say-
remember that.
you remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
That was when the draft weekend was part of the season, and we would draft a team on Saturday. Saturday we would draft
Labor
a
Day.
team, and then Sunday we would play each other.
Oh, that's cool. We should go back to that. That would be fun.
Well, why don't you say that, Samantha?
Ah,
Yeah, what's that?
that
all
might
about?
happen if they go to 20 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
18-game schedule. So
I like that. That
Maybe in
makes
maybe
it
in 2 or
happen
3
fast.
years we'll get
That-
that.
maybe our fourth listener who is listening, Roger Goodell.
If not, we'll have to send him a link just so he can jump
Yeah.
in.
but if you remember, we would get together for the Super Bowl weekend, and we would be everybody together, and we'd do the draft on Saturday, and then Sunday we would all go to Barnacle Bills and sit and watch our games. And that was really good because we didn't know really how to do it and really what our players were, but that's what we did. And I can just remember how sore we were driving home on that Monday, which was absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Is that when you guys played real football?
Oh, that's when
Oh,
we
yeah.
played real football
And drank a lot.
and
Played,
drank a lot.
played the football, watched, drank, and then drove. Not all.
Watched, drank, and then
They
drove.
say sobered up.
To be-
They
to be
sobered up
young
all
again.
youngins.
Oh,
Left
young
we
and then
were all
drove.
sober.
Yes, yes. Well, and I tell you, so and it's funny. I mean, it's the the Dreadnoughts also obviously went for Mila's Marauders, which were the initial
Mila's
creation.
Marauders.
And what is
You know,
what's it-
a marauder is like saying it's like saying a raider.
Okay.
It's a franchise that was a marauder, meaning that you would plunder was your main
Okay.
thing you did.
And were you hired sort of like from another country or something to come in and do it for them? Or
And I think I had that franchise, I think, for 4 years. I think 4 years would be
Right, because literally the first year that Frank came on, you won.
changed the name.
Yeah, and you guys won. You guys, that
you
was
changed
That
to-
was-
you
that
changed
was
to what?
yes.
So we started in 92
They became the Dreadnoughts.
and we started in 92 and
Well,
then
we started
in 97. I can't believe it was 5 years before we won one, but it was. Because I remember thinking, we're never going to win this thing. And
Well,
then,
Frank hasn't
boom,
won one
then
this
we won
year,
it.
so.
Yeah. Well, Frank, it's funny because we always think of, Frank and his college football prowess, but obviously it was the elixir that you needed to get to the pro football championship.
Yeah.
So
Yes. So I would fly into on the Super Bowl weekend was really kind of fun for me. I would fly into Birmingham, and that's where Frank lived. And so I would be there, and Frank would pick me up at the airport, and we would drive to Atlanta for the draft. In the years when it was in Atlanta, and
right.
that
Interesting.
was
I actually didn't know that.
I neither.
yeah.
Mhm.
So that we had that, and so Frank and I would sit there and reminisce about old Lakeland stories, and we would do that on the way we're driving to Jamie's, and
Yeah.
and half the time we would end up setting up the draft because Jamie had not gotten around to it.
And how did you know Frank?
I knew Frank well. Frank and I and Jamie and Randy all went to Lakeland.
Okay, that was part of the
Dreadnoughts.
group. Gotcha.
So that's why when I switched to Randy and I didn't have to switch the name because we were still all Dreadnoughts.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
and the Dreadnoughts was officially a World War I battleship.
Wow.
It was not a battleship;
Very
it
nice.
was a destroyer. But yeah.
Destroyer.
There you go.
Interesting that Lakeland. Why are Lakeland the Dreadnoughts? I just thought about that. Lakeland's inland.
Yeah.
Like, it
they're
doesn't really
pretty
make a lot of
Really?
sense.
Locked there, right?
Lots
Maybe
of
it's
lakes.
Freeman.
Lots of lakes. no
Lots of
battle-
lakes. That's why we call it Lakeland.
Not a lot of battleships.
Not
a lot
yet.
of battleships, but
Great question, Austin. Great question.
Well, I mean, Robinson's really far from any foreign countries with knights, but they're still the
That's-
Robinson
that's-
Knights,
that's
so,
fair.
You know,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
and Dreadnought is an unusual name, so we got to say Dreadnought and Dreadnoughts and Dreadnoughts.
There you go.
Never really no. Yeah, what were you, Christopher?
The heroes,
No.
felt
High
special.
school.
the tigers.
The Tigers. Ooh, that's a great name.
Yeah, judgment
Well,
far
so-
from Africa.
So Jimmy, you won. It took you 5 years to win one. I'm coming up on, I think, 12. I think this will be my 12th as my own team, and I
Okay.
still haven't won. So, 5 is pretty impressive.
No, but you were the one who came up with the great answer to my dilemma when we had the draft in 2 years ago, where you said, "Okay,
Infamous.
Jimmy will
Oh yeah.
switch the draft picks," and
Oh.
that was amazing. It didn't help any, but
that will live in BFFL lore for sure. I think
Oh.
there's, Jimmy, we've got about 20 of the things that you were involved in that will be in that, but certainly if we were, I don't know, I would just say evolved enough to be able to take these podcasts and like bring up pictures and certain, I don't know, skull caps or whatever you wore that would be like
Oh,
in blood kind of things. And the night that nobody knows really what happened,
I blame my
But,
uncles. I fully blame both of them.
but they
Oh, of
don't know what
course.
happened either.
of
Well,
course.
It was like
exactly.
those
it
damn
was like the
cherries.
Hangover movie. You know,
It
it's like
is.
nobody
Yes,
knew
Yeah.
what,
exactly like
nobody
that.
knew what happened.
Exactly. It is definitely the hangover. And it was crazy to be able to do that. And just as we were getting into that first round Friday, and yeah, to have something like wow, yes, that Tony Gonzalez and so
Tony
There's
Gonzalez.
Travis Kelce.
or Travis Kelce, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Travis
Wow.
Kelce and
We're
Tony
going back to
Gonzalez
when
was-
he used to always pick tight ends no matter what. So.
No, not really. I
No,
only
I'm just
did
kidding.
that. I started that with Randy
I
when
know,
Randy
I know.
came in, and Randy and I were
Hmm.
studying for the draft, and Randy said, "Well, why don't we?" He says, "Why don't we get a tight end? Because they get points at a lower distance than
Right,
wide receivers."
right.
And so that's when we started our tradition of tight ends, and we did it. And it was in the Mela tradition, or the Dreadnought tradition, of having your first two picks be totally irrelevant in scoring. It's yeah, we got Travis Kelce. Yeah, we got him after he kept scoring.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
so we had a little kerfuffle there.
Yeah, but then you went from picking tight ends in the first round, and then added the second round, and then I think the last year you went first, second, and third round,
Yeah.
which was pretty legendary in itself.
Mhm.
And if a Kyle Pitts or Sam Laporta, those kind of guys, if they had just all clicked,
Yeah, they had
You-
clicked. I would have been I would have won the league.
you would.
But then again,
Yeah.
we could say that in 36 years.
Well,
I would have
us,
won too.
us Atlanta fans have been waiting for Kyle Pitts to click for 5 years. I'm just
That
saying.
was
Yeah.
a softball there, Matt. Yes. there
Yes,
it is.
that was Kyle Pitts.
Mm.
This,
Yeah.
this
And
is the
he's
year,
a Gator.
man. Don't
I mean,
worry.
we're still waiting.
Yeah. We've heard it. We've heard it the last 5 years, So
Yeah.
You don't need Brock Bowers. You can just go Kyle Pitts. It's fine.
okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So anyway, I am retiring from the league, and therefore Christopher has got plans for the franchise that's going to replace me. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what it is.
Yeah, well, we can make that announcement, and we kind of have a pretty neat next episode as well come July. But my I just saw how really wonderful John and Kelly did in theirs. So in terms of their experience last year, one of the things I thought about in terms of trying to figure out when we look back about the league, we were trying to figure out who had honestly been in this league a long time and maybe deserved it. So we Matt, Austin, and I got together and we talked a little bit about the opportunity that should be posed. And as much as my partner at the time for well over 20 years, Rick Reef, we have enjoyed it together, 4 Brick Hat Bowl championships together, which has been pretty amazing. Rick was offered and accepted the available franchise, and he actually accepted along with Reagan Reef, his oldest daughter, and there's even some rumors that the twins might be given some insight. So we will officially be having next month the Reefs Rampage.
Actually,
Yes, yeah,
I think
yeah.
my vote was Reefs.
Just change the spelling.
The
Reef,
Reefs.
Reef squared. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
But they have their own mind.
They have
so.
their own minds. So next month we will be having Rick and Reagan and maybe the whole Reef clan on, and that's exciting. But I guess, and I jumped a little ahead on my Johnny Kelly thing, but just seeing the wonderful success, I thought in my mind there's probably something to that, and I've also been very blessed to have a wonderful partner in my life now for 15 plus years, and so we are also officially going from the Heroes back to the Hatton's Heroes, and Samantha Hatton will be joining officially the Hatton's Heroes as we go back to the Hatton's Heroes. So you're gonna play.
It's here like ESPN, all
Yeah.
that stuff. It's estrogen here.
Yeah, really with some shoulder showing and everything. Nope, she's going to be joining us.
Yeah.
You are?
I'm
Yes.
kidding, yes.
So
I'm excited about
we've
it.
already even talked about the draft order selection
Yes.
and what we might do on that. But so yeah, so there's some big changes. The Reefs, the Hattons, and
Christopher, I think
Dreadnoughts
Adam
have bowed
Schefter
out.
was reporting in on rumors. It's been a few years since the Heroes have won a championship. Was this move purely strategic, or was there?
Well, I would love to actually give some fire to the rumors, or some flame or fuel to the fire, that it was more of a Brady kind of Belichick thing, but it's not. It is actually Rick and I were very almost really wanting to keep it together, but one of the things that I think, as many of you know, that the Heroes will be headed to France, not too long after the season begins this year, and some beautiful opportunities for Samantha and I to be together. So that was honestly another wonderful driving force, and the okay, yes, because we'll be able to get this and be able to have the experience, just honestly like John and Kelly. But I think Rick being able to grow the next generation, and if you just look
Yeah.
at the next generation, I know Nicole obviously plays with Matt. Certainly, Oscar, I mean, has done an amazing job. Certainly with Doug, they've come very, very close. And then you have Jonathan and Jeremy, who are basically, team head knocker. So just that opportunity, and I think Rick saw that, and also honestly, it was we wanted a strong team, and certainly Rick out of the gate provides that. And the other part, which is good, and I think we could probably go in there, Commissioner, if you'll allow me to go one more level, which I think we're going to talk about some realignment. We jokingly
Yeah, I
said,
was going to bring that up. So
okay, well,
read it.
I'll and it is the first realignment and we've had a lot over the BFFL 34 going on 35 years now, but it literally changes every division. So it's the only one that's impacted. And Rick actually said, well, as long as I'm not, in the same division with you guys, so we don't have to play each other twice, I'm good with it. So that was kind of the final bow to put this together. And again, congratulations to Rick Reagan and the Reefs Rampage. We will be seeing them rolled out this year.
Reefs.
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 That's what we're going to.
Yeah.
Reefs. So
So yeah, that realignment's going to be big this year. I think we're all excited about that.
Yeah.
I know
I'm
you-
very excited about that.
yeah, you guys want to?
I love you, Wayne, but I cannot wait to not play you twice a year.
There you go.
So but what's that mean to a layman? Like, we're gonna readjust the games and we're gonna play different teams twice a year this time versus the
Yeah.
ones y'all been
our,
playing for
div-
years.
our division rivalries.
Yeah.
Are,
So
changing.
essentially, yeah, you have two other people in your divisions. There's 3 teams in each division, and you
Right.
play those people twice a year, and then everyone else once. So I was having to play Wayne twice a year, and
You were having Wayne and Stefanik.
And
Jim
Jim,
Stefanik, yeah.
Wow.
There's
So that
probably a
was
reason you didn't win for 12 years. I'm just
Well,
Yeah,
saying.
I mean, it was tough, but yeah. So now those divisions are all going to be moved around. So I'm very
So,
excited
Austin,
about that.
You're coming home. You're coming home.
Yeah.
You're coming home
Yeah.
to Florida.
In Florida now?
I'm back in Florida. Yeah, it made sense when I joined the league. I was living in Nashville, so I was like, and the spot that opened was in Georgia, so it made sense
Right.
in the Georgia conference. So,
Well,
but now
you
I've been,
could have formed the Nashville League.
yeah, it's my own
Nashville
division.
division.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm
But
I'm
you
happy to
didn't
be
do it.
coming back in Florida and develop some new rivalries that I'm excited about.
Hmm.
Yes. So in the Florida conference, we will have still the Florida South and Florida North, but some people have already talked about it kind of like being a Florida, let's say, more mature division, and a Florida, let's say, young in division. So, so Austin, you want to announce your division?
Oh,
Yeah, so the Riot Squad will be in the new Florida. I don't know if this will be Florida South or North, but the North. Okay, the younger division will be the Riot Squad, the Conquerors, and the Bandits. So it will be
very good.
Yeah, it will be my uncles and my cousin, and I'm very excited to take them on this
That's
upcoming
That's gonna be
season.
fun.
That's going to be really
That's gonna
cool.
be good
Yeah.
matchups.
Good. I can't. All three of them are actually really good at trash talking, so I gotta up my game on that front.
He's in the old. So well, let's just call it more mature. So the Florida South, the more mature group, certainly. So that will be the lifelong friends for now, 50 years. So it'll be the Patton's Heroes, the Terry's Terrors, and the Warriors. So it'll be from Frank and Mike, Johnny Kelly, and Christopher and Samantha. So
Except 3.
friends and rivals. Yes.
Yeah.
Friends and rivals. So, which is pretty exciting.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
We've been planning this for a while, Jimmy. We just been waiting for your announcement.
I'm so glad I'm here.
Finally,
Jimmy
got
retired.
here.
Jimmy retiring's causing a lot of realignment here. You know?
That's right. That's right. So Matt, do you want to announce the Georgia realignment, which is
So
pretty
Georgia
neat in itself?
Yeah. So Georgia realignment. I guess Georgia West will be BKF. We have the Tailgaters, and we'll also have the Thundercats. Which I know, Dan, you moved to Florida, but you still got a home base in Blairsville, so we're technically just gonna call it the Georgia West.
Scott's Georgia.
Scott's Georgia, that's true. So it's good there, and then the Georgia East, we'll have the Head Knockers. You also have the Walleye, which will kind of have a family feel to it. And you also have the new team, the Renegades. So that will be
Who are the Renegades?
The Rampage.
The Reefs.
Rampage, sorry.
Reefs.
Oh,
Rampage.
yeah, they're the Rampage, not
Yeah.
the Renegades.
Rampage.
I'm sorry.
We're calling them all different things today, but a lot of alliteration of it.
I mean, Renegade sounds cool too.
Reefs.
It could be. He might change
Renegade.
after he hears. But the neat part about, so the Georgia East, which is really
South Carolina.
the South Carolina
The
division.
Clemson division. Yeah.
The Clemson division, because Wayne obviously and Clemson, but the Head Knockers, which obviously have Bobby at the helm, but also Jonathan, Jeremy. So they have the Clemson coordination, not only Jeremy going there, but also their dad, and then being able to have the Rampage, which is purely South Carolina. So which kind of makes sense. Georgia East, right? So east of
Georgia.
east of Georgia is
East of Georgia, east
Clemson.
of the Savannah
is
River.
Clemson, is South Carolina, yeah. And then pretty much all of Georgia is then in the Georgia West. So
yeah,
which is nice. So we've got some really, it kind of almost makes sense probably for the first time in 35 years.
Yeah.
Bit of a dissenter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
We-
it can't be quite perfect.
Yeah, it was almost like the old Major League Baseball divisions. The Atlanta used to be in the National League West. Yeah, up until about '93. So that was that made a lot of sense.
In the NFC Central.
Oh my gosh. Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago. Which one of these does not work? Yeah.
I still don't get the Cowboys in the NFC East, but
It's because of all the old school rivals. That's why. Right. They keep them there. I mean, Philly wants to play them twice a year. Washington does. New York does. So.
No one wants to play the Cowboys twice. Nobody does.
Unless they want to get 2 wins.
Yeah. Don't you want to play them twice?
2 wins, yes.
Yeah, it's for all those Cowboy listeners. We do. Dan is
Cowboy fan?
Dan is a big Cowboy fan. Yeah,
I'm still reeling after my Super Bowl prediction from last year.
Yeah, I remember that. I specifically remembered listening. I don't remember what Matt picked, but I do remember you saying Dallas all the way.
Well, he got the Jacksonville right there.
Dallas all the way? Really?
I'm pretty sure he said Dallas all the way.
I did.
I think
Jimmy.
you had Dallas versus Houston, right?
Yeah, I did. I had an all Texas Super Bowl, and that didn't work out.
I think we
I
should
had
do a better job about going back and looking at your all's
I
predictions.
had the
and following
Bengals
up on
versus
them.
Falcons, so at least one of your teams made the
Wow,
playoffs.
anybody that picks the Falcons has got
What'd you have?
tough road.
I think I had like the Jets, which is horrible, and Green Bay maybe. I think I had the
Nobody
all
had
green.
Kansas City, really?
Yeah,
I think
you
I
went
had the all
Green Bay.
green.
I
No.
think, Samantha, I think
Chris-
we all knew. I think we even all said during the podcast, we were like, it'll probably be Kansas City, but we wanted to pick something fun.
Something
Yeah.
fresh. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah,
You do know I was raised my entire life and my dad's entire life with none of these wins, like
Oh,
until
yeah.
recently. So it's
It's
Favorite-
kind of like it's kind of like the part where I mean Austin didn't he got a little bit. I mean most of your life you've actually had a pretty good Bucks team.
Yeah, yeah.
that's
mean,
true.
mhm.
So
The
you don't
2010s were awful. It was-
2010s were bad, but
but
yeah.
That was unbearable. But the late 90s, 2000 to 2009 was great. And even 2010 was great. And then
I look at it as the Bucks.
2010 to
The
2020
Bucks
to
have
now was
won-
great.
the Bucks have won twice,
Yeah.
and they've had 2 championships in different generations.
Yeah.
And so that really is quite the good standing. That goes, you can look at the Cowboys. Well, they had their age, and
Yeah.
the Steelers had their age, but the Bucks are now 2 generations in.
That's true. That's a good way to look at it.
That is a good point. The
You
Cowboys,
share it around. That's
they kind of
nice.
lumped all their championships together.
Yeah, that
Well,
era versus
I've had-
yeah.
0 up here, so it's
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
been no
It's-
generation close, but
And then, as I like to say, the Gators, you can only win your first championship once, and then all you can do is win it again. And so the Gators
Yeah.
have won it again in basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
true.
They were
In football, not so
Unbelievable this
much,
year.
but we're working on it.
There you go. There you go. So I will just say I think from the it's a lot of change, but the great part is I think we're just growing the family because as much as we'll miss the day-to-day of the Dreadnoughts, Jimmy will still have the being able to be a host of the Super Weekends some way, shape, or form, whether it's
Yeah.
drafts or whatnot. And I think certainly I don't have to go very far to say he's one of the legends of the game, being an original 8. So
Well, thank you.
yes,
Thank
yes. So it's been a privilege to have you here, and knowing that the great part is we'll still be talking football and everything from there.
Yes, we will have the draft here, and so I expect everybody to be here. Austin,
I will be here.
Matt,
They
I
don't
will
typically
be
do
there.
Alright,
do they?
good.
Wow, you guys are getting called to the
mean,
carpet.
you don't have to twist mine or Austin's arm. You
Okay,
can twist some other
all
people,
right,
but you
good.
don't have to
Lucky
twist
here.
mine
That's great.
or Austin's.
That's true.
So-
And you definitely want to be usually in the especially being there to be able to utilize your certain CPWs and stuff like that that have become more and more prevalent over the years. So,
Yes,
that's
and
been
and now that the Terrys are on the move,
On the
and
move.
so there will not be an Arowana
Yeah.
location for the Friday
accessibility
night.
for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So hopefully we can still get maybe it's the Frank and Dee Dee. Maybe we
Yeah, maybe we move it to them on Friday and then we do
Move
something
that on
on
Friday.
Sunday. We do a gathering somewhere or something, a restaurant or something for brunch.
Yeah.
Like a hula bay or a patio or something like that.
something a little with a Tampa flair.
Yeah.
That we could
Yeah.
do.
Oh, Spartan's Wharf. We could hang out at Spartan's Wharf,
Yeah. Give the
something like that.
folks from Georgia and South Carolina something to see and the like. So
Or maybe you'll buy a place in France.
yeah, well that was the next month's. No, I'm just kidding. So
That's a little premature.
We'll have to see how we get the time difference for the Commishcast, the 6-hour difference. Those will be some
Yeah.
fun.
We have
ones.
been studying up though on the local places we can go to watch some American football happen. They
Nice.
are trying to encourage us to become rugby fans, but we're sticking strong.
Yeah,
with
I don't know where the
American
rugby came
football.
from. I
I
don't
don't
even
know. They
get
seem
that.
to think that
I'm
that's a
thinking-
good comparison.
I'm thinking PSG was a pretty good team to like, go for when you went from football to football. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Well, the French
pretty
don't
much
look at
enjoying
it that way. They seem to look at it like American football is equal to rugby, not soccer.
right, because for them, it's like your American football is so
Because
far below
Yeah.
our soccer up there. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, this was a wonderful gathering, and I appreciate Matt and
You ready?
Austin for tuning in.
Hold on, hold on, Jimmy. We usually go for like an hour and a half, but we don't have to go for an hour and a
really?
half.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So he's not a very
I'm
long
starting
time
to
listener.
fade off
so-
right now.
Yeah,
so-
Jimmy's like, and we're out.
And we're done.
And we're done. It's like, let's go.
Really important.
There you go. So Jimmy, is there anything you'd like to ask us?
Oh, well, so how long are you guys going to keep doing this? I mean, you guys are going into your 90s now, aren't you?
Well, there was talk of the what do they call it? The like the Champions Tour, like they have in golf and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think the
What,
whole
because
part,
we get super old, we have
as
to
we
have
get
our own
older and
league?
stuff like that. Yes,
So
the
then
golf.
people are forgetting, we're gonna have to have less rules, 'cause they forget, like, but it's.
Yes, exactly.
If you get a touchdown, you get one
Wow.
point.
Yeah.
You get a field goal, you get a
So
half a
into that.
point. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's a simplified league.
Hey.
where-
Jimmy's like, wait a minute. If I knew that, I'd probably hang on for another couple of years, right?
We have to get like 10 reminders to set our lineup. You know, like,
You know, and then there's an auto pick for you if you don't.
Yeah.
get your lineup.
well, I was like, you can use AI to set your lineup. You know.
Oh, my.
Oh, Matt, I remember
Oh
that
my
you
God.
called me up during the league last year, and you said, "Oh well, Jim, you see, you can't use your Thursday night special waiver wire because you weren't at the draft." I was like, "What?"
That's one of those rules that we've only had for probably 15 or
Yeah.
so years.
Yeah,
Shockingly,
that's-
that Jimmy. Yeah,
That's all. Sorry, Jimmy.
That's all right. That's all right, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm over it now.
Okay.
That's what made him go into retirement. Way to go,
Hey.
man.
The
Those
scab is
are
almost healed now.
Yeah, those are calls I don't like to make. I mean, you can bill me for your therapy if you need it. though.
I think in the old league, we should only
Oh
play
my-
1 o'clock games, no 8 o'clock games.
That's right.
Yeah.
We can't.
That's past our
They're
bedtime.
not that late.
That would be interesting. You can't have a player if you have them. You can't play them at 8 o'clock. Oh,
Yeah.
If they play an 8 o'clock game, they're
You
out.
can't play them.
oh, man, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
These are good rules.
Brainstorming, this could turn into something, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, it is. It is. Hey,
Old
just get
timers.
better. Whatever we need to do to just get better. So we certainly have. As much as we'll miss you, I think the realignment. I mean, I think honestly, you talk about your rivalry.
That is exciting.
I mean,
That
just
is,
being able to.
that is going to be wonderful, I think.
I mean,
Yes.
the whole South Carolina division, and Wayne playing against his sons and stuff
And
like
so
that.
I think of Chris Sykes in that I'm going to have a kind of watching from the sidelines, as these
Yeah.
teams play each other.
Right.
As we watch Austin lose again.
Yeah.
And
I
Oh,
don't
come
know.
on.
I don't know. This might be in Sierra.
I think the odds and now
Yeah.
may be in his favor. I'm kind of scared that
the
he's actually
bookmakers have,
into Florida.
my odds have shot up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't wait for Rick and Wayne to play each other. That's gonna be
Oh,
really
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah,
There-
that's going to be big
That
rivalry.
might be some. There might be some trash talking that week. I
Yeah,
have a feeling.
yeah.
Yes.
That should be fun. So,
That's-
yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for the season.
I saw a highlight earlier today of like every team's longest pass from last year, and it was like, man, I miss football. I can't wait for football to start.
I know.
It scratched that itch that was like, oh,
There you go. It's funny. I think Austin, now you being much more of the other European football fan than
Yeah.
I, as I'm just learning. But I just learned something, and correct me if I'm wrong, but because I was watching and they were calling this, and it was, I forget who it was. Maybe it was Tottenham and somebody, but they were talking about it's a derby. And I'm like, what is a derby? And basically a derby, as I understand it, is just like a great rivalry.
yeah,
So it's like, Chelsea maybe Arsenal, something like that. But that's what I'm
Yeah.
just thinking right now, like the Walleye and the
Yeah.
Rampage. You've got a Derby, and this. I mean, honestly, I'm just thinking. I mean, the Terrors and the Heroes. Have a Derby. I mean, and then the Warriors. I mean, it's almost
Yeah.
can just be a league of derbies. I mean, we're gonna just have so many really cool rivalries.
There will be a lot. There will be a lot now. Yeah, for sure.
Derby, the
Yeah,
horse derby.
they like Chelsea Arsenal is the North is
They got
one of
the
the.
horse
There's a few
race
North
here.
London derbies because there's a few North London teams. So
Oh, is that what they call them? Like,
yeah.
okay.
So like there's like the Merseyside Derby, which is
Derby or Derby?
it's spelled Derby, but I don't know.
They
They're
say
British.
Derby.
I don't know if
Derby.
I don't know if it's British
Okay.
people saying Derby or if it's I don't know. But that one is Liverpool and Everton. There's a bunch. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of those this year.
Yeah.
We're gonna have 2 with Wayne against his sons. We're gonna have 2 with Wayne against Rick. 2 with me against Steven. That'll be a big one, especially because Steven and I it'll be really interesting. Steven and I, we kind of, while we were, across conferences, he and I kind of collaborate a lot. We would talk a lot about oh, our team's doing this, and that. And now that we're directly competing for the same division, it's going to be a lot of, maybe I don't want to tell Steven.
Yeah.
that.
I don't think
Steven,
you
you should draft him for sure. You should draft Kyle Pitts. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
So-
go for it.
There you go. Yeah. No, I could certainly see a whole just like it's kind of like when they talk like the El Clasico, Barcelona and Madrid. I mean, literally, I think our rivalries are going to be just a little bit more solidified, a little bit more fun, and the gatherings and such like that. So I think that's maybe something for the legacy commish to start focusing on, kind of as we get to look back in some of the records and some of these
And
matchups.
we're gonna be rooting for you as a drafting. You're gonna draft your team here in Florida, and then you're gonna be going to France. So
Yes.
that is
And
going to
next
be.
year he's gonna draft his team in France.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's-
Oh, wow.
Well, it will be while
Will it be
I'm
the
still
first
in France.
international draft.
Ooh, that's true. We've only done one with let's say.
I'm glad I'm getting out now.
I don't I don't know, but we almost had an international when Jim was in Abu Dhabi, but I think he just officially gave his briefcase with the draft to Mark Benware.
That's right.
Yeah.
Correct.
He had the infamous kind of with the draft notes and the like. So yes, this might be the only official international draft. So
If he liked to fly, he would fly back toward
Guys, best of luck to the Austin's team and Matt's, and you guys have a great year. And I will watch
Appreciate it,
from the
Jimmy.
sidelines.
Well,
Don't
Jimmy,
you
we'll still
worry.
see you around I'll still see you on Sundays for Bucks games, things like that. You're not,
yes,
And
that's-
you're not
that's
moving
exactly-
away or
that's the part.
anything,
This
so.
is not a bitter breakup. This
And
is
I get one of Christopher's games, so I got to
Yes.
pick carefully. So
he's got one of the Buccaneer games there.
So who all I was gonna ask that. Who all called in
I
after
think the only one it was John. So
Okay.
it was that's the
oh,
thing. So
so John and I are in competition.
no, we're trying to
I think we have 4.
we're trying to schedule it out to be able to get you all a game. So yes. Yeah, so we don't need to worry about the rock paper scissors game. So. We don't need to worry about that. So, but yeah, so Matt, what is up next? Is it so the draft order is going to be coming out soon, and then
draft order. I'm hoping to send it out next week. Wi-Fi is being set up at my new place on Saturday, so
oh wow, okay.
So yeah, big news as well. I'm moving Friday, guys. So it's like
You guys you're moving where, Matt?
I'm moving to Roswell, Georgia on Friday.
Roswell, Georgia.
I'll still be Georgia West, even though I'm moving further east. So there you go.
Are you buying a townhouse? Is that right?
Buying a townhouse. So
Nice.
very excited about it. And so I got that on my to-do list in between opening boxes next week, wondering why I packed so much stuff. And then
You can still take it to Goodwill. Don't worry.
oh yeah, it's been we've actually cut down a lot, Nicole and I, past few weeks. So it's been great, and just decluttered a lot. And so, but yeah, we're very excited about the move. And, I know my neighbors were pretty sad about us leaving. They brought that beautiful
Saw the
picture.
picture, man. That was
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
Kelly Terry-esque, actually.
Yes. So yeah, we teared up outside last night. So, but yeah, I'll send that out. I actually went in and looked at how to realign everyone last week.
Ooh,
So I was kind of waiting for, this announcement to kind of then send out the draft email because I didn't want to give too much
Right.
away ahead of time, make people watch it. So, that will be great. So this will be my last podcast from this house. So
There you go.
Wow.
So-
Served you well, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
it's been a
So,
great
Yeah.
house. It's served the
And we-
draft well, it's
Yeah.
served super weekends well.
Yeah.
It's been,
oh my
it's
gosh.
been
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Matt.
Did you ever get the basement finished?
no, I did not. No. So,
I mean, it's finished. It's just not.
But
Well-
we had studs and we
well,
were
I'll
drafting
tell
the
you this,
studs.
our draft boards that I had down there, I put them in safekeeping. I gave them to Tara, and she was like,
Okay.
"So I'm in charge of protecting your fantasy football stuff." I'm like, "Absolutely." So
Well,
that's
then
how much
you must be really.
that's
serious
how much I
about
trust
I'm
her.
telling
So-
you,
Yeah.
that's a compliment.
that's a big deal. Yeah, I can't wait to pull those out when we're up in Georgia next. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now, Matt, does your new place? What's the? Is there a paper football area anywhere?
Oh yeah, I have a 112-inch island, so it's a huge island.
Okay.
So
You measured
yeah,
it?
what's that?
You measured it?
Yes, I did. 'Cause I got to figure out how many. I got to figure out how many stools I need to buy. to put
Oh, there you
underneath
go.
there.
Okay.
So,
That makes sense.
Wow.
but yeah, so we actually could probably run 3 games at the same
Sounds
time.
like it.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of like the.
Three-way,
Yeah, you could
games.
do that almost
Wayne's.
with Wayne's
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
Did we do 3?
Yeah, we did 3.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that'll
so
be.
I think we can run 3 games there at the same time. So as far as the draft there, might be a little tight, but I might have to like rent a place or something for that. But or we can have it at Doug's and then go if Doug can actually get Wi-Fi, I may have to run some wiring out there to him. So
Maybe that.
Get that T-Mobile
21st
thing
century
like you
thing.
get when you camp.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's weird.
but
Uh,
hey, Doug voted in the spring owners meeting. He used Microsoft Forms. I mean, I couldn't believe
right.
Impressive.
it. I was proud of Doug. If you're watching, Doug. So
I mean, if they can get internet on a cruise ship, I'm pretty sure the Tesla guy can get it to Georgia. I'm just thinking.
yeah,
Yeah, he could get some
George's
Starlink
not
or
that
whatever. Yeah.
far.
yeah. So hopefully we'll be able to get that going next year. But it's definitely we can do paper football there a lot. So and I'm gonna make sure I have a nice big TV on the inside. I'm gonna have a nice TV on the covered patio out there. So
Oh, nice. Okay.
so yeah, so we'll be good to go.
That's awesome.
That'll be
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah. So lots of change, guys, in the BFFL. I think 2025 is the year of change. That might be
Yeah.
might be the
That's-
theme.
There,
That's right.
and Austin is really hoping it's the year change. He wants that championship. He wants
Yeah.
that. He's like enough
13's a good year.
enough of
13's
these small trophies. I want the trophy. It's like I can win the FA Cup. I can win the Europa. I want the premier trophy. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you know,
Matt, the best to Richard, because
Yeah.
I'll be in the wheelchair next to him.
He's not in the wheelchair
He's
yet.
not in a wheelchair yet, man.
He was getting around pretty good Sunday. I went to his
Yeah,
church
Oh,
on Sunday.
good, good.
So
Yeah,
he's
glad to
doing
hear it.
well. He might have a his gallbladder taken out. So
oh wow.
he's supposed to find. I was waiting for his call today, but he's doing well. He's doing really good, and he's getting around good. So he's
Well,
become
good.
a deacon at his church. So he's
Oh,
doing very
wow.
well for himself. So
Along with your brother, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's exciting.
yeah, so
So
it's
is
doing.
Mary.
Everybody's doing well. So
All right,
he's not
wonderful.
in the wheelchair yet, Jimmy, and you won't be
No.
for a long time, buddy. So
So Jimmy, since we won't probably have you on many more of these podcasts, so
Yeah.
you got to give us a prediction on the Bucks and then
Ooh.
the Super Bowl. So what's your prediction on the Bucks and then the Super
You
Bowl?
know what? As the years go by and the Bucks are supposed to be even better than last year, I'm going to say 11 victories,
Hmm.
which is just one more than they had.
Oh yeah,
They can do that.
And that is going to be my official stance.
11.
All right.
Okay,
I like
all
that.
right.
I like that a lot.
Too bad we don't have the big like Buccaneer like pirate hat, so kind of like Lee Corso. We could
Yeah.
put that on you and stuff like that, little
Arr.
eye patch and stuff like that. So, and then so Super Bowl is that enough to get to the Bucks in the Super Bowl, or who would be your Super Bowl prediction? Which two teams?
I'm going to say I really don't think the Chiefs have it left in them.
Okay,
And so I'm going to say
Be careful. Be careful, Jimmy.
you're sitting right next to her.
the 49ers.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay.
San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, they got
Okay.
a lot left in them. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Good choice.
Ooh. Wow.
And we got
Put
to
some
have
money on that.
AFC team now.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
Land on that Brock Purdy one. Okay. Okay.
We're
he's
going
gonna
to
be
say the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess that's the only NFL news we haven't really that's really happened in the last month. But
Yes. Wow.
Right.
He went straight for that. Wow.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers versus the
San Francisco
Brock
49ers. Wow. So that one of the young guns against the old slingers. So
and so
wow.
we got Baltimore in there, got something to say about it, and who else?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Josh
Yep.
would not be very, very happy with that. I would think Pittsburgh actually can probably make the playoffs and continue Mike Tomlin's streak of making the playoffs, but I don't know if they can make it all. But hey,
So
I
Christopher,
picked
pick
Aaron,
your
I,
team.
pick- I picked Aaron Rodgers. Well, no, Matt, Austin, and I always pick it in August, so it's a little
Yeah.
premature.
Okay.
So, like I said,
When- Hey Jimmy,
All
when
right.
you retire, we put you on the spot. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what time of the year.
exactly. Yeah.
I like it. I like the Bucks prediction. I think that's a good prediction for them. I think they're gonna have a really good season. So
I think the
sure hope
Bucks are
so.
going to be there.
Yeah.
I really do. I just
Yeah.
Christopher is a big quarterback fan.
I'm a big Bucky fan. I'm a big Bucky.
Yeah.
He's a big Bucket fan. Yeah. Yeah.
So we got wide receivers that we don't even know what to do with.
True.
How can we get 4 of them on the field?
run and shoot,
Run and
baby.
shoot, baby.
Well, we're just going to have to because we have no defense. So we're going to have to win 42-38 just
All right.
every week.
All
so.
right. Christopher
No,
calls it 42-38.
Listen, I think Hassan Reddick is going to get 15 sacks this year, and then we'll win 12 games. And no, I don't know. We'll get to those predictions later.
Okay.
Take it
All
up.
right, all
Take
right.
it up a
He's
notch.
picking 12.
I would
He's
like
up
to.
in your 11.
And he's up
Going
on
to
11
12.
going to 12.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope so.
The main thing the Bucks really need is someone to mute Todd Bowles' microphone when it's fourth down, and
Amen.
just override
Absolutely.
him and just say, oh, "We're going for it."
Go
And
Yeah.
then
for
he's
it.
standing there. He's standing there going like this, and then he doesn't say anything anyways. And then we go for the fourth down and we get it. And
I'm 100% with you.
yeah, I think we would have won like 3 or 4 more games last year, including the playoff game, if we'd done that.
Mhm.
But
Beating the Chiefs.
It's
Yeah.
a numbers game, and Buffalo's doing it.
Lions,
Yeah.
Commanders,
Lions,
Commanders for sure. Yeah,
Bears.
Commanders look good. They
They do.
look great.
I think this is going to be a really, really fun NFL year. Like last year, it was kind of like, it kind of felt stagnant. Like it was kind of like, I don't know what's going to happen. But this year, I think there's been so much coaching change and so many teams that were promising last year that could fall, or like the Commanders are probably going to be in it. I don't know. There's just so
They're
much.
going to be in there.
Or the
They're gonna
Bears,
be in
the
the
Bears, I
NFC,
mean, like
that's
the
for
Bears
sure.
with Ben Johnson now, it's like that adds
Yeah.
a whole nother team into the mix. It's
Yeah.
gonna be interesting. I can't wait.
It will. I think one of my big questions is, will the Commanders be the Texans from last year? You know, and maybe not that of a disappointment, but I just think they have all the expectations in the world. Now they didn't just stay complacent. They added some talent. So, but I mean, wow, they've got a lot of expectations on them. And then you've got the team in Detroit who basically, I mean, tick, 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 their window is already closing. And then you got Buffalo. So I mean, there's going to be some teams that are going to just be like, we have to do this.
win.
And the Bucks, I'm telling you, the Bucks are going to be there.
I mean, 13 wins.
Jimmy, I would not be surprised.
The BFL's Lee Corso here. Yes.
Gonna win that division.
Well, hey, we still got Atlanta. I tell you, we keep on talking about the team with potential. I mean, they scare the bejeebies out of me. So
well, we beat you guys twice last year and still lost the division. So there you go. I mean, Atlanta finds ways to lose. And hey, I did tell you guys in March, was it March or February, that Kirk Cousins would be in Atlanta in an Atlanta uniform as our backup quarterback this year.
There you go. There you go. And a great backup quarterback.
Yeah. It's $50 million backup quarterback.
Yeah.
That's I don't quite think that was the plan.
I think they should play Kyle Trask against Kirk Cousins.
Well,
if Kirk could play the Bucks every week, I mean, he'd be he'd be the MVP.
Trust me, I know that all too well, Matt, right? Oh my goodness. Oh,
it's all right. That's all right. We got our quarterback and we're happy with him.
Oh, Baker's awesome.
We have been very, very, very fortunate with Baker, and he's a new dad and everything like that. So yeah, it's exciting. So
all right.
That's cool. Any final parting words, I guess? Matt, Austin?
Well, Jimmy, I'll tell you, one of my favorite memories of Super Weekend with you was here. And one of my favorite pictures from Super Weekend is you, Jamie, and Jackie around the oven. Y'all were like fighting with the hot pads.
The glove, the hot pads. That was a classic.
And I love that picture.
I remember that.
It still brings a smile. It still brings a big smile to my face. And, you know, I know those two are smiling down at heaven over this podcast. And but it's one of my favorite pictures, one of my favorite moments. And, you know, I can't wait to come down and see you at Labor Day Super Weekend, and can't wait to see you guys and make more memories.
Yeah.
And congrats on your retirement from the BFFL. You know, you've been one of our mainstays, you know, like, you know, NHL original 6, you're one of the original 8 of the BFFL. And, you know, our friendship last 35 years. I mean, you know, I tell people, I've been playing fantasy football with guys for 35 years, and they're just like, oh my gosh. And, you know, they can't believe it. And you're one of them. And you're one of the reasons why our league is so great. So
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yay.
No doubt.
True. It's true. You know, a little glimpse into my life. I when I've been dating, I tell people, you know, I'm in a fantasy football league with I'm busy Monday night because I'm in a fantasy football league with people who've been playing for 35 years, for longer than I've been alive. And I think it's always a funny story, but I think it's a good, unique story. And I love the stories of our league and the legends of our league. And Jimmy is for sure one of those people. He's also just a great guy, great friend, always very fun, and probably one of the funniest people to watch. Probably one of the funniest people to watch sports with too is Jimmy Mela. I think there's any time that there's like a quiet moment or something, Jimmy has a quip.
If I can entertain you, I'm happy.
Exactly. Things like that. That's what I mean. So, you know, I'm looking forward to this season. I know you won't be playing in the BFFL with us, but I'm sure I'll see you for a bunch of Bucks games this year. So Can't wait for that. Can't wait for that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Matt, looking forward to it.
Yeah. And I'll just add mine, and then we'll let you close, or Samantha. Certainly, I think, and you hit on it, Austin. You really did. I think, you know, just outside of the the game that we play, which really brought us all together. But as you say, this has been a family, and Jimmy is just one of the truly good guys. I mean, I think honestly, and it's funny because they got their 25th jerseys at the same time. It was Jimmy and Doug, who are just two of the nicest people
Mhm.
like ever. And the part I love about it is that we wouldn't have been able to. Who knows if we connected the way we did?
Yeah.
I mean, you were up in Atlanta. We would have been here without a fantasy football league. Certainly not Doug. Certainly not.
All to Christopher.
So
I want to tell you, no, Christopher was the one who had the vision for this league and really was a great spokesman for it. And
Well.
you kept prodding us and prodding us and prodding us.
This thing is really fun. Just keep it
And
going. Yes. Well, and the great part about all of that is just like we said, I mean, it started with me and Bobby, and then we brought in our best friends. And then it's just been amazing to see where they've gone in terms of the friendships have gone from the family that's really it's gone into, and again to be able to have an experience that just like again Austin and Matt said, I mean it's an experience with wonderful memories, but friendships that have lasted going on 35 years, but they're going to last way beyond that. So
Yes.
again, thank you so very much for everything. We love you, my man.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. I want to thank you guys. Good to see you. And we'll look forward to having you here for the draft, if not sooner. Yeah, it won't be sooner. So we'll see you for the draft.
All
All
right.
right.
Maybe we can close out and then we'll wrap up off camera. So
All right.